A big weekend upcoming as the Oregon Ducks come to town, and the Boilermakers will have some momentum coming off a 4-game sweep against Marist in Holly Springs, North Carolina. Hi, I'm Kyle Charters with the head baseball coach Greg Goff and the SID, Ben Turner. It was a big weekend. You guys took the Red Foxes 4-0. There was some excitement, too, in the first game on Saturday. Come from behind walk-off victory in the 9th inning. But your team came off a weekend in which it got a couple of big victories against Baylor and Oregon State and carried that momentum into the trip to North Carolina.
We did, Kyle, and I'm glad we won. You can keep coming on the next road trip. So, but no, we did. We had a great weekend. Started out with big barbecue with Judge, and had a great series with Marist, and really competitive games there those first few games, and really fortunate to come away with that victory on Saturday, the first game.
I'm happy to go on the next road trip as long as the airline does not destroy my luggage on the trip back. 3 Saturdays in a row with a walk-off victory. The game on Saturday, the first one of the doubleheader, you guys find yourselves behind 10-6. Probably didn't want to be in that situation. But for your team to respond, I thought was impressive because it's hard to sweep 4-game series. And, you'd already won the first game. The team knows it's got 2 more games coming up. But they responded the way you wanted them to.
They did, and you got to give Marist a lot of credit, Kyle. I mean, we had the lead, and they came back on our best bullpen arms. So, give them a lot of credit. They came back and took the lead, and then, hit the big 3-run home run to put them up by 4. And I think a lot of people at that point thought the game was over. But, this group is a very resilient group. I thought we had our best at-bats of the whole day in those first 5 guys that came up there, just really locked in. There was a lot of borderline pitches that we took that we maybe had chased earlier in the game. And, I just felt like they just had just a great team approach and just get one guy on, put a quality at-bat together and another quality at-bat together. And next thing you know, man, we got bases loaded and we're close to getting this thing tied, and then we end up walking it off. So just can't say enough about the character and just how these guys have just stayed poised through some pretty heated games so far for us.
Patience and power were big parts of those big innings over the weekend. You had 4 more runs in innings 7 times, so those were back in a good way. And just being able to put together big innings in different ways has to be encouraging for you. You mentioned the patience of the 9th inning on Saturday afternoon. Also on Sunday, jump on them early and took them out of that game early as well with the patience. And then we saw a really cool scenario. I think it was the 4th inning Sunday. On 4 pitches, you had a home run, 2 triples, and an RBI single. It was like, wow, that's the power, and that's that's fun baseball too at that point.
It is, and I think this group. I keep telling them that every week we just want to continue to get better, Ben, and seeing Ross Highfield in there and Brandon Rogers really had a great weekend for us. Some guys that hit down in the lower part of the lineup. I'm thinking we're starting to stretch our lineup out a little bit more where, if you're going to beat good teams and have opportunity to score in multiple innings, you got to be able to stretch your lineup out a little bit. That was what I was really pleased about. You see the guys that really had productive weekends were some guys that, were not just hitting 3-hole and 4-hole, So I think that was really good for us. I want to continue to try to move forward and continue to get these guys going offensively. I still – we had a good weekend and has had some good games, but I still feel like that, we haven't, reached our full potential yet as an offense.
Yeah, it was the bottom of the lineup that actually won that game Saturday on the walk-off. The middle got it started, Sam Flores with a base hit to get that rally going. Yep. You only had 2 hits in the rally, which again talks to the patience of the rally. Aaron Manus came off the bench during that stretch. That's 2 walk-offs in a row where he's had a huge pinch hit during the inning that won the game. So good to see him contributing, even though he's a little banged up otherwise. Meanwhile, the starting pitching was very solid again. Austin Klug, got to highlight him among that group.
Sure.
15 in a row. And in kind of a spot start. I mean, I know he made a midweek start, but, nightcap of a doubleheader is not always the easiest game to go out there. And after giving up a run in the first inning, man, he cruised through them. And that was big time.
It was big time for us. Like you said, it's hard to win, especially a doubleheader. Almost 70% of the doubleheaders get split. So for him to be able to go out and then give up a run in the first, and then our guys respond, and then, boy, he really settled in. I thought that was the best I've seen him pitch since he's been here. Just full command of all the pitches. It was really fun to watch him out there dicing those guys up.
As you mentioned, you do have some guys nicked up to in that lineup, but the offense still performing well. We know that Aaron Manius is a little bit nicked up, though he has contributed at times. Avery Moore slides into a padded wall, but gets his knee underneath the pad, and has to get some stitches there, and so he has to sit out the rest of the weekend. But the guy that filled in for him, Trey Swiderski, who we'll talk to a little bit later here on This Week in Purdue Baseball, comes off the bench cold, and I think the second or third inning of that game, immediately doubles, has another double, ends up having a good weekend. Nice to see, and I think you mentioned it after the game too to the team, nice to see a guy be ready to go when his number is called early in a game, because sometimes that can be challenging to do.
It is. That's a great point. I just couldn't say enough about Trey being able to, and I watch our dugout. I tell our team this all the time. I want to see how they respond and see who's engaged and who stays locked in. And I still remember looking down in the dugout and seeing Trey with a smile on his face and excited for his teammates and cheering his teammates on before he got a chance to get in there after Avery got hurt. And again, right, I just, you have a pure heart, you play hard, and wait your opportunities, and you work hard. And I think that's just what Trey's done. And so really proud of him to go in there and have a really big weekend for us after that.
You've had some other guys step up offensively. Weston Boyle now, I think he has 16 RBI now on the season, which is great for a freshman shortstop hitting in the 2-hole. But an 8 RBI weekend. Brandon Rogers has a 6-game hitting streak. C.J. Richmond had a long hitting streak. It came to an end over the weekend, but he's been performing well. So you're getting some other guys in some big spots.
We are, and that's exciting for us as we get ready for conference play to be able to have those guys get going. Seeing B. Raj out there this weekend, he just brings a lot of energy. He's been able to play the short game really well, so now we're trying to control the defense, and so it just leaves us more opportunities for him to hit the ball in the 6-hole, and really got a hold to that one ball. That hit the ball off the wall this weekend as well. So just really excited for these guys as they continue to work hard and improve each week.
I know you'd love to give one more shout out to the people of Holly Springs. That's 5 years in a row there. Purdue has been there.
Yeah.
Good crowds on Saturday and Sunday when the weather was good. It feels like some of those same people keep coming back, that you've established that tradition of being there 1, maybe 2 weekends, depending on the season. And then, that consistency pays off with people being there. Those relationships are made, whether they work for the city of Holly Springs or the Parks and Rec Department or just are in the community.
Right.
But it's been fun there, going there. We consistently have.
It really is. It just feels like home. Jay and Robert and those guys just make us feel at home. You walk in there and you got Purdue stuff everywhere in the locker room and on the field, and it makes a big difference. As you start your first 16 games or so on the road. To be able to have a venue like that and have the people to welcome us is just fantastic. And like I said earlier, starting off the weekend with a big barbecue from Judge and having the team, eat that thing, it is really good, and really appreciate what he does, and all our fans that you said that just keeps getting bigger and bigger each year, it seems like, and really, really thankful for the support over there.
Big Ten play is here. The home season is here.
It is.
March 6th, you wouldn't think that would be a home opener, but hey, it looks like the weather's going to be pretty good this weekend, at least warm.
Yep.
And we got to talk about who's coming back to town. That's Mark Wasikowski, the head coach of the Oregon Ducks. He's a big reason that you're here.
That's right. There's no doubt.
And he had an impact on this program for 3 seasons, got Purdue to a regional your first year as an assistant in 2018, right. And then went back to Oregon where he had been an assistant before coming to Purdue. So very unique that you have this earliest home opener ever, Big Ten plays here, and look who's in the other dugout.
Yeah, I know. It's, as I get older, it gets really tough when you play good friends like Mark, to be honest with you. You're happy that you win. You're mad that you lose. But it's really, you just can't have any joy about it, to be honest with you. You're happy for your team and stuff like that, but really it's hard when you have such great relationships with some of these guys. And so, I think a lot of Mark and Lori and the girls, they've been a big part of my life, and that's why I'm here. He gave me an opportunity and brought me here, and I didn't know I'd be here 8 years later, but very thankful and grateful for that opportunity. And we still stay in contact and follow those guys all the time, and just looking forward to seeing him, giving him a big hug, and hopefully beating that guy a couple times.
No doubt about it. Tell us a little bit more about the Ducks. A good program, obviously, good team. But your team also, I think, has played a schedule to prepare it for the start of the Big Ten and to take on a team team like Oregon. I mean, you played some good teams here in the pre-conference season,
Right.
and have to feel like you're in a good spot where like the intensity is going to pick up pretty good on Friday.
Right.
And it seems like your guys will be ready for that.
We are, I think, every week we tell them we start out 0-0, but they know how important the Big Ten conference, schedule is and season. And, I think Oregon is as good as anybody in our league. Them and UCLA, I think, are projected to finish first and second, I think. So, it's a great test for us early in the year. We got them at home. The weather's going to be, warm, and hopefully the rain will cooperate with us. We'll get these games in. But, really excited for our players. I think we put them in a position where, they are prepared and they're ready to go, and really excited about getting this thing going.
Yeah, no doubt. Will be a great weekend at Alexander. Hopefully the weather will hold out. Looks like, as Ben said, the temperature will be good. The rain, we think, will stay away, and should have some good crowds to face the Oregon Ducks this weekend. Yes. Thank you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, let's take a break. We'll bring in Trey Swiderski. He's coming up next on This Week in Purdue Baseball. Trey Swiderski with us on This Week in Purdue Baseball, coming off a 4-game sweep of Marist over the weekend. In one of those games, the Friday game, you're on the bench there the first couple of innings, but you have to jump off the bench pretty quickly on defense, too, which is a little bit unusual. Usually when you're coming into a game, you're doing so as a pinch hitter. But I think you got like 3 warm-up tosses there in front of the dugout and then raced out to right field. Just what's that like to have to stay prepared? Unusual that you're getting in that early in a game, but it seemed like you were ready to go because you doubled a couple of times then later in the game.
Yeah, I mean, you just got to stay locked in. You never know when your number's going to get called. You never know, like Avery there sliding into padded wall, hits his shin on the concrete under it. I mean, it's unfortunate. So, I mean, you never know when things are going to not go someone's way, and just got to step up and fill in.
It sounded like Gigi sort of liked your attitude on the bench. I mean, everybody wants to start, I think, and you have, a number of guys on this team who probably feel like they are deserving and probably are deserving of having one of those starting roles. But he likes to see sort of how guys react. So do you want to start, obviously, but what's your attitude then in the dugout when you're not in the starting lineup?
I mean, you can't get down on yourself. I mean, if you're down on yourself, you're not going to help the team out when your number's called. So always got to be ready, have a good attitude about it, cheer on your teammates.
Yeah.
You have been pretty consistently in the lineup this year early on, though. Starting on opening day, which always has to be a good feeling, especially for a new guy on the team. You guys have played 11 games. You've been in there for 10 of them. So that seeing your name consistently in the lineup has to give you confidence and helps, I suppose, get you going early on versus having just sporadic at-bats?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just got to catch a groove, really. I mean, just stay calm in the box and just be ready, really.
Did you feel like Holly Springs was a good hitter's ballpark for you? Because you did have 4 extra base hits. You hit 500 on the weekend. You hit a home run again. What did you feel like that set up well for you offensively?
I just feel like that ballpark was a very nice ballpark to begin with. It was definitely good for hitters, I feel like. And, it was a good time, just feeling comfortable in the box and just doing what I do.
Tell us a little bit about your home run on Sunday. Second as a Boilermaker, maybe take us through what you saw, what you were looking for at that bat. And that turned out to be a very unique inning as well. And maybe we'll get your take on what it was like in the dugout after that.
Yeah, so I want to say I faced that same pitcher the first game, and I think I hit a double off his fastball. So I'm going in there probably thinking they're going to spin something. First pitch was a fastball. I took it. It was like right down the middle. Just took it, and then they threw the slider, which I was waiting on, and just hung it and just banged it.
All right, Kyle, take us through how the rest of that inning went out. We'll see if Trey remembers what it's
like.
Yeah,
so I hit the home run, and then I think B-Raj hit the triple off the wall, and then they brought in the next pitcher, and then High Phil hit a triple, and then I think Serge got the single and brought him in. So.
But what else was unique about that stretch? Do you remember?
I think it was 4 straight pitches.
It was.
Yeah.
So did you even have time to celebrate your home run fully?
Yeah, I mean,
they had moved on to other things.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm in the dugout, like, kind of celebrating, like, with the teammates, while my other teammates are also doing the same thing. They're also hitting. So yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, big inning, and you don't see that happen all that often in that way. Right field in Holly Springs is a little bit unique. There's a high wall out there. There's a lot of foul territory.
Oh, yeah.
we saw Sergio DiCello hit a ball. It's a little bit of a short porch. He hit the ball halfway up the light pole for a grand slam. It was quite the hit. But what was it like playing out there in sort of that kind of environment?
I mean, seeing Avery slide into that concrete wall kind of had me a little skeptical about it.
Yeah,
but
sure.
I mean, it was pretty normal, I would say. Just way more foul territory, got a lot more room to cover.
Yeah.
So, and I had a couple balls where I was running towards that wall, so I was kind of thinking about that while running over there.
It's hard to describe it for people that haven't seen it in person, but it goes from absolutely no foul territory at basically, 15 feet from the foul pole, and then that big wall, to all of a sudden that massive canyon.
Yeah.
And we always worry about right fielders chasing a ball. They realize that corner, and that could come out of nowhere and get you. So, I mean, how cognizant are you of that unique setup?
I mean, you got to be careful, but at the same time, you got to go and catch the ball. You got to do your job. So you kind of just got to lay it all out and just do what you do in the outfield.
There are a lot of things that you guys, I know on practices on Thursday, try to get a feel for the environment. I know we've played as a team in Holly Springs before, but we got a lot of new guys who haven't. How much time do you take to try to sort of feel out the environment? Because it was a lot different. I mean, there's a ton of foul territory behind home plate, but also a brick wall behind home plate. And that came into play several times during the series with, the game that ultimately you guys end up coming back and rallying in the bottom of the ninth. It looked as though that wall was going to play a huge difference because B-Raj gets thrown out at home when he's the tying run because the ball ricochets so hard off that brick wall. Because how much time do you guys try to take, you as an outfielder probably touring around the outfield, but also looking at some of the other aspects of a park to make sure you've got a good feel about how it might play?
Yeah, I mean, before games, you usually go out there and, go to your position, look around, see, type of environment it is. And then B-Raj getting thrown out because the brick wall. The same thing happened with me. I was on third base, and ball ricochets off the brick wall, and I was going to go, but just completely came back to the catcher. And
Yeah, it is pretty wild to get that. I see you guys at times throwing the ball off the wall, too, in the outfield just to see how it's going to react if it hits off the wall and things. So always a good idea to go out there and get a feel for what the environment is like. Thomas Howard, former teammate at Louisville, and John A. Logan. He's been a real bulldog for us the first few weekends for sure. What was it like to play with him? And then I'm sure you faced him a little bit at times as well.
Oh, yeah, I've faced him a lot of times, actually, since Louisville and now here. I mean, I can't say enough about him. I mean, he's a great teammate. He's got that great mentality. I mean, he's going to go on the mound and shove. And when he steps up there, I have so much confidence in him. He's a good pitcher.
We haven't seen Lucas Grant yet. He's still coming back from an injury, but they have high hopes for him. He's a fellow Joliet Catholic product like you. Were you guys teammates that your last year there? Was he up as a sophomore?
Yeah, he was up as a sophomore and I was a senior, and we ended up winning state that year with him.
Sure. So maybe you can give us. I mean, obviously we saw him in the fall. But the ceiling is pretty high for him, too, as another weapon that we could roll out at some point this season.
Yeah, I think it would be huge if we got him back. I mean, he's a lefty. I mean, I think he was up to 95 in the fall. And if he's able to come back from that back injury, well, that'll be a huge part for us.
Now, Joliet Catholic has quite the history, and you won at least one state title, maybe multiple, or at least played for them.
Yeah, we won back-to-back, my junior and senior year.
So, I mean, that coming from a program like that with that pedigree, I mean, that gets you ready to win at the next level, too, I would assume.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, just kind of just getting used to winning. I mean, it's a good feeling, and just try and keep it going.
Who else would you kind of highlight among the pitching staff that maybe has been a tough matchup for you personally, whether it was in fall ball or preseason scrimmages?
One guy that sticks out is Austin Klug. He's got that big curveball, and it's pretty gross. So it's a good pitch.
Yeah, had a good weekend as well.
Yeah, he's stepped up too.
Yeah,
he's looked really good.
Who would you shout out otherwise, teammate-wise, that has been playing well, maybe flying below the radar a little bit?
I wouldn't say. I don't think he's flying below the radar, but Weston Boyle, I mean, as a freshman, I mean, he's done amazing things so far, and just keep it going. He's doing really good, especially as a freshman. It's impressive.
Oregon Ducks this weekend, home games in early March. Looks like the weather will hold out and actually be pretty good for us. But do you feel like your team has put itself in good position for the start of Big Ten play, especially start of Big Ten play against a quality opponent like the Ducks?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're on a 6-game win streak now, something like that, so that's good going into this weekend, facing a tough Big Ten opponent. I mean, facing Southern Miss, Baylor, and Oregon State, that was huge for us too. Just facing that good competition.
Yeah.
That's going to be good for us going into this weekend for sure.
Yeah.
We'll have to learn more about you in the personal preferences segment, Trey. So we always say there are no wrong answers on this part of the show, but we do have you pick a number between 1 and 33, and we'll see what you come up with.
All right, I'll pick 17.
People like to always pick their number.
Yep.
Favorite month of the year?
Favorite month of the year? I would probably say, when baseball season start? March?
Well, it depends.
Or no,
suppose.
February.
For college baseball, usually people
Yeah.
think more April for pro baseball, Major League
Yeah.
Baseball. But
I would say February right now because that's the start of everything, start of the season.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
It is a short month too, and
Oh, yeah.
March follows, which I always say makes February better than January.
Yep. Yeah.
All right, between 1 and 33, don't pick 17.
I'll do 23.
23. Your favorite Purdue building on campus?
Mollenkopf, where we're at right now.
There you go.
Yep. Good.
All right, last one. Between 1 and 33, don't pick 17, don't pick 23.
Let's do 27.
27. All right, you want a free trip for a vacation. Pick one. Beaches, mountains, or an extended road trip?
Beaches for sure. I just love the beach vibe. It's a great time.
Can't
Living
go
on
wrong
the
with
beach.
that.
No, never.
Very good. What are some of the keys for the weekend for you guys?
I think just go out and just do what we do. Just stay calm. I mean, we've practiced so much, so I think we'll be completely fine. Hunt the fastball, like Serrato says, hunt the middle, and
Yeah.
I think we'll be good.
Good. Will be a big weekend with the Oregon Ducks in town for sure. Trey, thank you for your time today.
Yep, thank you guys for having me.
All right, that'll do it for our show. It does drop midweek every week as we take you through the baseball season. For Gigi earlier and Trey right now, Ben Turner, I'm Kyle Charters. Thanks for watching This Week in Purdue Baseball.